we're going to talk about how your customer thinks. Sam Walton said, "There's only one boss, the customer, and he can fire everyone in the company from the chairman on down simply by spending his money somewhere else." Okay? So what are the benefits of knowing your customer? Okay. So obviously one is to make your product more attractive and more sellable. So right up front, if you have a really good understanding of what your customer wants, you can build those product features and benefits into your product as you're developing it. Okay? It's a big mistake to try to wait to the end and say, oh, I've already gone into production, now I'm trying to make the changes that they want. It's very, you just maybe have to throw away that whole production line. Okay? Again, like I was saying, create the benefits and features that they are looking for. Okay? And also understand the customer, you will find out what are the hot buttons that will make them excited about your product. Everyone has to say, they'll say, yeah, it has to have this feature or that benefit, and boom. Okay, then they're willing to buy it. Okay. So let's think about the buying process. Now, we all go through a buying process, whether you're at a checkout counter buying a piece of gum or you're buying a car. So if I'm buying a piece of gum, it takes maybe 30 seconds. If I'm buying a car, it might take 30 days. Okay, but we go essentially through the same process. One is there's a problem. Okay, let's say I'm hungry, or my shoes have holes in them, or maybe my neighbor just bought a new car and I need to go buy a new car. Okay? So that's the problem. Then an information search. Now, people are always going to go out and look for solutions. Okay? And what you need to do is be there where they're going to be searching. Are they going to certain websites? Okay, are they talking to certain people? Okay, are they going to certain stores? Where are they going to find their research? Are they going to use Consumer Reports? How are they going to do that? The next phase when we buy a product is we actually do an evaluation. We're going to start comparing products. So they're going to compare your product to the competitors. I mean, don't we all do this? We start looking, all right, here's one, here's another. And again, this is the value of understanding the competition. You find out what they're offering and find out ways how you can make your product look better. We look in terms of the benefits, the price, the packaging, what's the quality, and they're going to be comparing that. They might not take an actual piece of paper out and start writing charts, but in their mind, they've got these questions going on all the time. Okay? That's why you see a lot of websites that have these reviews and discussion groups. I do that myself. I'll go on and try to find a discussion group talking about this product or how they came up with a solution. Okay? The internet has changed the playing field just tremendously. Before you had to rely on, let's say, a salesperson or just very limited information. Now, it's wide open. Then, let's say the fourth step is we actually make the purchase. Okay? But before we do, we are influenced, by, let's say, our friends, our family, and maybe, yes, the salesperson when we make that purchase. Okay, so how can now you influence maybe the salespeople? I've been in certain situations where the salespeople, they are sometimes, commissioned and get some extra perks from certain companies. And it's kind of interesting. I have a friend that works for Hewlett Packard, and what they'll do sometimes, they'll go in the stores and pretend to be regular shoppers. And they'll say, yeah, I'm interested in a laptop. They'll say, yeah, how's that HP? Ah, that's terrible. You want this other one. And they're like, okay, let me make some notes on that. We need to do something to, get this sales manager to talk to his salespeople to find out why are they pushing this one product. Okay, and this happens all the time. Sometimes, let's say you're buying cars. Oh, you got to buy those Michelin. They're the best. Maybe they are. Maybe that's they're getting a higher commission on that. So if you're selling a product through salespeople, you have to find ways to incentivize them. Okay, and then the post-purchase. Okay, you ever see a product you buy and it says, congratulations, thank you for buying my product? You ever wonder why they do that? It's because after you buy the product, you have this, what we call dissonance. You start thinking about, gee, did I make the right decision? God, I spent, $500 for these fuzzy dice. Was that the right thing to do? Oh, I see the letter. It says, oh, yeah, congratulations, you made a great decision. And then you show that to your spouse and say, hey, look, I just made the right choice. So this is some of the things you have to do after the purchase to ease their pain or make sure that they realize they have made the right choice. They now have relief. Okay. Now, this was a study done by Roper Starch on shopping styles and pricing. And this is very interesting. Now, it turns out that 21% of us like to buy the latest innovative gadget. Okay? We're innovators. Okay? We love the newest thing out there. What you can do, if you're selling a product that is innovative like that, I would suggest you set a higher price. Okay? Because again, these people, they don't care what the price is. They just have to have the latest gadget. Okay? Now, it turns out 27% of us are price seekers. Price, again, is the most important thing to us. Okay? So now, if it turns out that your product is catering to a group of people who are price sensitive, you have to find out, what is the most they're willing to pay. Okay? So you want to keep your costs low, and you have to keep the price low. So again, that's when they start comparing products, they're going to say, all right, which one? I'm going to lean toward the one that's least expensive. Okay? Then you have some people who are called the deal makers. Okay? They just love the process of shopping and doing some deals. But the thing is, they want value. Okay? They're going to, price is not necessarily the most important as long as they're getting, the benefits derived from the product. Okay? Now, the key here for you is that you can price within 10 to 20% of the competition. Okay? That's fine. They'll spend a little more if they're getting more. Okay? That's very important. The last group, they're brand loyalists. 23%, they want a brand name. They don't care if yours is better. I never heard of them before. I don't know. I'm sticking with my brand. Whether it's a Procter & Gamble or GE or whatever the known brands are that is related to your product. Okay, so if you're trying to come up with some branded product, then what you have to do, you're going to have to spend a lot of money on market branding. It's going to require a lot of television commercials, a lot of fancy stuff. Okay, it's got to be very consistent. So you can see right away, your product's not going to appeal to everybody. Okay, there's different segments of people that want your type of product. Okay. Now, here's another thing that you have to think about. Certain people, again, will buy anything out there. They call it diffusion, where you'll start with a certain group of people who will buy anything. Then there's different people out there that once the product is in the market, maybe a couple years, 5 years, and then, they hear the testimonials and, it's sort of proven. Maybe they're on version 2, version 3, version 4. Then they'll think about buying it. I was that way when the microwave oven came out. Like certain people, they bought them right away. They saw the benefits. And I'm thinking, I don't know about that radiation and, I don't know how you cook with that thing. I mean, I waited years before I bought a microwave, because it's got to be a problem with that thing. But, certain types of products I'm more comfortable with, and I'll buy the latest, greatest. Some I'll wait till the price comes down. So, we are different, just depends on how comfortable we are with the different products. Okay? Now, also, you want to keep in mind there are many people involved in the buying process. Okay? Now, there's one type of person, they are the initiator. They're the type of person who gets things going. Okay? There's the influencer. I don't know, have you ever, you wanted to buy a product and people are saying, I think you ought to try this or you ought to try that, right? The decider. This is the person who actually makes the final decision. They say, yeah, we're going with this product. And the buyer. This is the person who actually makes the payment with their credit card or check or cash. Okay? And the user. These are the people who actually use the product. Now, this could all be one person or it could be multiple persons. All right? If it's something simple, you might think, hey, I need this. I'm going to go out. No one's influencing you per se, or you think. And then you decide it, you buy it, and you use it. Now, let me also throw out there that your product has to appeal to the people involved in that process. You have to get an understanding of who's going to be influencing, your product, the purchase decision, so that you can appeal to them. And let's use an example. Let's say a child's toy. Okay? So the initiator, let's say there's a friend who shows your child, a new toy. Okay? Then the influencer, your child's going to ask your parents to buy it. Okay? Then the decider, well, the mother and the father, let's say. Okay? Then the buyer, let's say the mother, she goes down to Toys R Us and she actually makes the purchase. She's still going to be looking at the packaging and not sure. Then, finally she buys it. Then, the kids and everyone in the neighborhood ends up using that toy. Okay. So what just happened here? So think about, let's say the mother and the father who are key in deciding about this. They're interested in, all right, what's the warranty? How long is this thing going to last? Is there any safety issues? Are they going to choke on this? Okay, that's what the decider. And then maybe the influencers, they don't care. And the users, they want it to be read and make a lot of noise and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so again, your product has to appeal to all those people. Because let's say you make it real fun for the kid, but let's say the parents, they're like, yeah, I don't know about this thing, because they're the one maybe who's going to make the final decision. Okay, or let's say you make it so it appeals to the parents, but the kid hates it, and he said, I don't like it, and then they return it. Okay. All right.